Okay, so again, methods and processes. Are really excited about this class because this is the class where we're going to be talking a lot about the change process and applying that change process to different case studies and things like that, but also the different levels of social work, the different practice levels and things. And so I'm super excited to see you guys really take what you've learned from all of our other coursework and apply it in this class. So here are your assignments for the first week of class that you will complete and email to me. I will put the assignment instructions as Word documents in your email as well with your syllabus and things like that for the first week, okay? So that way you have a hard copy, you can see it. But we're gonna do a couple of different things, okay? So the first exercise, which you see in your syllabus, is exercise 1.2. What you're going to be doing is you will be asked to respond to a number of questions regarding personal and professional goals. So your objectives, you'll be able to clarify your interests in the field of social work. Now, I'm not exactly saying like, you're going to be choosing exactly what you want to be when you are going to be a social worker. Like if you're going to be a hospice social worker or a hospital social worker or working in mental health or in substance abuse or in the courts or wherever. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what you will be doing is talking about the groups and populations and things that you do want to work with, okay, where you have interest in, the field of social work that you have an interest in. So you'll identify some of your specific areas of interest and need. Tell your instructor something about yourself. Tell me something about yourself, okay? Especially your specific areas of interest and your needs. Okay, so what you will do is you'll take a sheet of paper, put your name on it, and answer the following questions. And label each one with an appropriate letter or number, it's fine. So like one, in which areas of helping are you specifically interested in? For example, adoptions, mental health, work with the older adults, alcohol and other drug abuse. List all that you can think of. If you aren't sure or you don't know as of yet, that's okay. But just some interests that you might have. Okay, the second one, ideally, what would you like to learn from this course? And please be as specific as possible. What skills do you think you really need to learn? Okay, what are your reasons for going into social work? I know that we've talked about it in the past and stuff, but really, I want you to sit down and really think about why you went into social work. And this is something that I still do. Like, why did I decide that social work was going to be my dream passion? And why am I still so extremely passionate about it? Let's see. What practice situations do you think you might run into that scare you? What strengths do you feel you bring to the field? What weaknesses do you feel you have that might affect your work in the field? Okay. And so then when we come back in week 2, you're going to email these to me. Okay. So don't make it like super personal if you don't want to share. Okay. But just so you know, so you're going to email these questions to me. But then when we come back in week 2, we're going to meet up and talk about it because you guys are probably going to have a lot of the same fears and things that some of the same trepidations or hesitations that your peers have as well. And so we're going to talk about it because this is what this class is really thinking about ourselves as clinicians and what it's going to mean for us being an actual clinician out in the field. Okay, so that is exercise 1.2. Anyways. So you'll do that, okay, and answer those questions and send them to me. Next, what I want to do is we are going to use some vignettes. Okay, I'm going to give you some case studies. I'm going to ask you some questions about those case studies. Okay, and then you're going to talk about what you would do as a social worker. Okay, as that person or that family's social worker. So like, let me give you an example. Now, this is not going to be one of your case vignettes, okay? But I'm going to answer as if like it was mine. All right, so the vignette that I'm going to answer is a 15-year-old can hardly make it through the morning until he can meet with his dealer and get some crack. He thinks briefly how it didn't used to be this bad, how he didn't used to need it this much. But he doesn't want to think about that for very long. It's too uncomfortable. He rationalizes that life is short and he wants to make the most of it. Besides, all of his friends use drugs too. He's no different. So then we have the vignette. I'm gonna ask these questions. So how might a social worker approach this young man regarding his drug use? So if he's brought to me, maybe the school counselor says, or guidance counselor might be a social worker. So maybe that's where I am, okay? And I notice that this 15-year-old, let's call him Johnny, that he is, experiencing, I see these behaviors and, these things like that. So I talk to him. He's probably not going to be very excited to talk to me. So it's going to be really hard for me to to create a rapport with him. But maybe he comes to me. Okay. So as a social worker, what I might do is talk to Johnny, like, hey, how's your home life? How are things going on? Like, do you have both your parents? How are your parents? Are they home with you? Do they work a lot? Remember, this video does not give us a whole lot of information at all. Think about your biopsychosocial assessments. Okay. What information would you need that is missing from this? Because those are the things that we are going to need to ask. So we are definitely going to want to do a biopsychosocial assessment on this kid. Okay, we're going to look at his support networks. We're going to look at, his family life. We're going to look at his daily activities. He comes to school, so that's good. We see he's coming to school. Am I right? Did he come to school? I don't know. It just says he has friends, so I guess I just assumed that he came to school. But that's a really great strength. Okay. And he does have friends, which does not look like great friends. So I don't know if that's a strength or not. But, we can look at those networks and things. Are there positive networks in his, and what theory is that from? Give you a second. We're looking at networks.